Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and it is time for another exciting Alpha Pro Series up to 116. So we got an epic. Hang on one second. Uh, Sorry, guys. Um, But we have another exciting matchup for you today. It's going to be Astrea versus Dream, and I can't talk too much about these guys. Do you know why? Because I want them to talk for themselves. So you know what? We're actually just going to hop right into game number 1 on Winter's Gate to get this best of 9 series rolling right. Because I know that's what you guys are here for, and I know that's what you guys are excited for, because these two really know their stuff, and they are really fun to watch. So spawning down up here in the bottom position of Winter's Gate, I think some of those words make sense. It's Dream from Brave Star Gaming, alongside his friends Hurricane and Cyan. And his opponent down here, representing Alpha X, it's Astrea. Bit of a transplant to the Korean scene. He's been playing a lot of games in the Korea server, even living in the team house over there, and doing a pretty good job overall, even taking out Sue recently in one of the groups for the GSL Super Tournament qualifiers. So overall, he is a very solid Protoss player, but unfortunately for him, this solid Protoss is going to be going up against Dream, whose best matchup has for quite a bit of time been Protoss, even though it's only about a 60% win rate. That's really where his strength has been. And right now we do see he's going to be doing a nice little proxy position here, kind of putting the fear into Astrea early on in this series. I just want to throw him off his game. It's not a huge committal for him. And Astrea is going to have to realize this. And as you can see, he's kind of delaying his Nexus for a couple more seconds. And going for that Cybernetics core first, just so he can stay safe against the Reaper coming out. He's also going to get a nice little scout off here. Just wants to make sure that there's at least going to be 3 pylons. That's kind of the magic number you want to see as a Terran player. Any less, and you can expect a proxy somewhere on the map. Astrea, on the other hand, is going to come in here and just kind of see that this is nothing super committal for him. It's just going to be that Reaper. So he's going to Chrono Boost out that Adept. Make sure that he can not lose too much here, although he will lose a bit of mining time as this goes on. And yeah, he gets the SCV, which is nice, but already losing 3 probes. That is a nice pick-off, and this Reaper's actually just going to get on out of here and wait for his buddy. You wonder why this little fist fight's going on. It's because an unsupervised probe is the most dangerous thing in the world. And that's why you got to kill him off where you can see him. 4 workers going down. Very nice start for Dream here. Even this Adept having a little bit of trouble. Had to call in some reinforcements. But just great damage overall. Astrea's going to really have to recover from that. Use a lot of Chrono Boost. Had to use a lot of Chrono Boost in that as well, so his economy going to be a little bit weaker than normal for right now. Even just going to slow him down even more as he tries to find the proxy location, but the proxy already safely at home. Or at least it's on the way. Nice little damage from the Hellion there, going to take out even more probes from all of this. And back at home, it does look like we are going to be seeing a 3cc before Starport play into what looks to be a mech timing push, as he's got that second factory coming on down. So overall, Dream is going to be the one super aggressive in this game, and he just wants to let Astrea know that this is Korea, this is his turf. These two adepts gonna have to be careful here. I'm just getting one SCV. Nice little pick off for him. Not too much though. The Cyclone even just chasing them down, even through the inhibitor zone, he's doing what he can. Just wants to make sure that nothing's really getting scattered out here, because so far when you see two Cyclones, that's relatively normal overall, so you're not going to really think too much is going on with that, but it's when the rest of the units start to come out, when this double factory production starts to ramp up. Even just good micro here, making sure he doesn't lose the SCVs. The Oracle thinks it's safe, but now that he sees 3 Cyclones, that's when the alarm bells can start to ring, especially since he did have that later Stargate with the Oracle production, which overall is just absolutely decimated by essentially what Dream is doing here. Everything there is anti-Oracle. Behind this, though, you know, there's not too much aggression coming out of Dream. He's just slowly building himself up into this battle mech style, which has been really popular on the ladder recently. So if you guys need some tips on how to do it from this game, it's very easy. You just make Cyclones, you make some Widow Mines for the defense as well. I think eventually he's going to start adding in the Hellions as well to kind of buffer for the Cyclones, but we'll have to see what he decides to do with that, as that Cyclone count is just going to start rising. Even getting a couple safety siege tanks is a very good shout there. Astrea just going to try and stay out on the map now that he kind of recognizes that this is some sort of strange play. Although getting caught in the inhibitor zone is not good. He's going to lose 3 Stalkers for free, and is actually just going to be chased back to his base. Blink nowhere near ready, so these Cyclones now have a lot of breathing room. Killing off that shield battery relatively quickly with just how powerful this upgrade is, the Magfield Accelerator. Overall, Astrea is just getting pushed back, but he does get a very nice pickup there. Getting one of the Cyclones, one of them just about to dive, going around the Widow Mines, going to sack it and not get it. Mortal production has started behind all of this, but once those Cyclones pop, that is just going to be it. One quick and clean series out of Dream. He wants to start things out right, and that is how you do so. An excellent first game. Very clean, very concise. And we're going to have to see what Astrea's map pick is, as we do have total of potential 9 games, 5 at the minimum. So we got a lot of great StarCraft coming up, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to help it out, then go ahead and check out some of the awesome things you can do on the Matcherino page. Especially, and this is the best one, if you type in APS 116, then you add 50 cents to the prize pool, which is quite a significant amount. It all adds up overall. So just check out that link, check out that code, and yeah, add a little bit of money there. It's free. And that's one of the best things, free money. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We got game number 2, Acropolis LE. So this one's been in the map pool for a couple seasons now, so players have started to figure it out, and it's kind of obvious why Astrea has picked this one, as it will give him a bit more breathing room. It is one of the smaller macro maps, but it still has a lot of room to breathe as a Protoss. Seeing how Dream is going to be very aggressive in this series, I bet. Without further ado, spawning in the bottom position, it's Dream. And his opponent up here in the top, looking to get back in this series early on. It's Astrea. Now, I do need to ask him at some point if it's pronounced like the country Austria or if it's Astrea. Because that is something that you should probably know, is how to actually pronounce the players' names. You know, Dream has a pretty easy name. You know, we think about these all the time. It's pretty late here, so I'm already thinking about Dreams. And this time, it is going to be pretty standard here. He's not going to hide anything out on the map. He's going to probably just go for another standard Reaper opening and go from there. I think that's kind of the bread and butter of Terran versus Protoss these days. Get the scouting information early, try and get some damage done, and then build up your forces and push. Astrea. Sushi, you are way too on top of things. Okay, so Astrea is getting a nice little scout out here. He's being a bit annoying. Going to try and delay that CC for a couple more minutes. And this is pretty nice here, as he does build up his Nexus and the Cybernetics core at home. Although the probe does get taken out, it's actually going to be Marine first, which does allow a much faster factory opening, which once again lends itself to another aggressive game. Even if he chooses not to be aggressive, puts him in a very nice mid-game position to have that much earlier on, as it allows you to kind of be more defensive against like Stargate play, which is common on a larger map. Or even just getting a couple Cyclones. Or picking off the units that usually come across the map, as Protoss is very, very likely to send those units across. Once again, it's going to be Stargate play. Going to try maybe the same thing, maybe a little variation here, but Astrea means star in Latin. Well, if he's going Latin, then Sic Semper Tyrannis, man. He's got all the tools he needs to be a fantastic player, and he's shown himself very good in his time in Korea, and he's a very fun player to watch. And overall, this Stalker gonna get taken out here almost. He does need to retreat. Might get a few more pokes off on the Marines. But yeah, the Adept's gonna come out, and this is kind of what you do. You make a little poke with an Adept usually, maybe one or two, while you attack the main base with an Oracle. But does look like Dream is prepping for a bit of an attack himself. Maybe gonna just ferry those Hellions straight into Astrea's main base. Although you gotta be kind of careful here, because this might get scouted out by the Oracle. Oh, he's actually being very aggressive with all of this. A big Hellion push coming up as well. So Shield Batter's instantly going to go down. He realizes the danger in all of this. Even going to try and take out the Oracle, which will be very important to the defense. Getting one of the Hellions up very early on, forcing those away. That is huge and pivotal. Although he does not have much at home to defend, those Marines going to do so much better versus the Oracle now that they have some healing potential. Great micro as well, but it will get cleaned up. Shield Battery being the lifesaver of this Oracle right there. So Astrea holds on for a little bit longer. Dream is not done, however. He knows that once you give a Protoss room, they will take a mile from your inches. And that is what he's going to do. He's going to try and give the mile away. That made no sense. It's 11 o'clock. I'm sorry, guys. But getting 5 workers there, that's going to be fantastic. Although the medevac more than likely might go down here, as there's not that many Marines to defend against this. So that does stifle the aggression possibilities of Dream for just a very slight time. Behind all this, both players are going to just start powering up once again. You know, we got siege tanks coming out, stim about halfway complete, +1 attack as well. A couple more gateways, going to try and make sure that he doesn't float too many minerals here, because that is the biggest danger, is that you just do not have enough production facilities. Phoenix going to get 1 kill. That was the medevac. Dream actually only just now taking his 3rd base. Scan going to go down and actually reveals very little here. He sees the 3rd base, but he doesn't really get a glimpse of where the army is. He does want to get kind of an eye on that, if at all possible. You know, look at the intercom. Astrea is starting to slowly inch his way forward here after a small period by Dream. And that's kind of the period where you realize that there's only 2 orbitals and no mule drops available at the time. Big move out here. One thing a lot of Protosses have kind of realized these days is that if you have a huge ball of units, just straight gateway, sorry, gotta sneeze. If you have a huge gateway ball, you can push through a lot of what Terran has here, although right now he does not have charge. And that's kind of the linchpin of an attack like this, because charge allows you to push the bio back and get right on top of those siege tanks. Once those tanks go down, there's not a lot left that this army can do. As you can see, Astrea just has map presence everywhere right now. Sees everything that's going on. Little scan gonna go down, and just barely missing that. But it looks like we are going to meet in the center of the map, a blink away. He just needs charge right now. 9 workers going down. I think that Liberator got in somewhere. But Astrea just bleeding out a lot of units right now. He does get a big catch though on that. Is looking to fight around it, it looks like. Although he will back up the ramp and kind of force Dream to be the aggressor right now. Dream is trying to engage this, but now that charge is done, +1 attack, these Zealots absolutely have a plan for dealing with this. But right now, Astrea needs to pull his forces back and only attack on one front. This is actually looking scary for him as the Zealots start to get whittled down here. There might just be barely enough Protoss to push this back, but it's the reinforcements which is the big problem here. We got a small, steady stream of blue coming across. And Astrea just kind of struggling to push this back right now, even though he is doing so. And yeah, overall, still missing the stasis trap. The big thing is it's a small stream at all times going up, so he's not just barely not hitting it because of that unit pathing, which is absolutely crazy. Astrea is just going to look back at this replay and say, ah, 1 inch. That's all it would have taken. He's got Storm on the way, but the new counter Ghosts with the EMP upgrade. Gonna help him out a lot on that front. Dream's still going across the map as well. I think that's going to be the first stasis ward I have ever seen that has not been triggered and actually just dies of old age. Gotta be careful with these zealots, even forcing the War Prism back. Lot of storm energy in that, I bet. And there we go. 2 big storms going to blanket this army. On the retreat, not so much. Actually just lost a lot of Templar right there. And the War Prism, it looks like. So now he has to be even more careful with his Templar. You're just going to morph him into Archons for a little bit of extra splash damage. He's got his force base up in mining. Astrea's is almost there as well. And really, it's kind of a game of limbo for both of these sides. They don't really have the numbers to push into each other. So it's all about kind of just doing small attacks here. I feel like Astrea would just do fantastic right now if he took off a couple of zealots and started attacking the 3rd base. Another scan going down. Just trying to reveal what he can. Yeah, overall, it's just very standard from both sides here. Neither one really looking to engage just yet. As that ghost count climbs, it's going to be so much more difficult for the style Astrea is going for as well. I don't know if you know about these guys. These big glowing guys that look like they're pure energy. Yeah. 2 or 3 EMPs and they become little kittens. Because they are literally all shields. Get some big storms off. Does lose those High Templar in the process. Doesn't quite kill anything just yet, but he does send the Ghost forward to finish everything off. Loses the War Prism once again. And even Dream, he just knows, man. He's watching this map. He sees what's going on, and he's reacting, making sure Astrea is forced back at all times. Now he's going on the offensive once again. There's no shield energy left, so these Marauders will absolutely tear through. Even the hidden pylons getting taken out. And the big thing behind all of this is Dream's economy has been completely untouched during all of this. He's gone up to 5 bases. He hasn't really taken any workers lost, so he's not replacing anything. The whole position means these guys are going to take a lot of damage from those EMPs. As we got another huge force coming on down. Storm's going to go off. But the division here, I don't think Astrea really has enough to take on both armies. He's just barely starting to push everything back on this side. This side's starting to get taken out, so he might actually just have just enough. Although, once again, every time he pushes it back, he just loses so much, even to his own storms there. And that War Prism is pretty much now useless for its intended purpose. It's going to be going for Disruptor. It's going to test the micro ability of Dream here. And yeah, now it does look like Astrea wants to at least put on some pressure, although we do have 5 more ghosts on the way. That puts the count up to 9. Seems like the perfect number here, as you just have EMP for days. Doesn't get the EMP off that time. A good feedback going to prevent it. Although he did just lose all the storm energy, so the Archons going to be completely exposed here as they morph in. Another big engagement right here. And there's just way too much Terran, it looks like. Astrea will be forced back once again. Nice snipes as well. The big thing about snipe and why it's so risky is you do lose the mobility on that ghost, and if anything touches it, like a little wind, a little peck on the cheek, and it actually cancels. So you got to be careful when using that versus this army. Even the Colossus, really nice addition here. Although Dream already has it on lock, as he's got 4 Vikings on the way at a time. Once again, the Storm's going to get some pretty good blankets here. Disruptors getting a few ghosts, which is always nice, but the 5th base is under fire here. Dream is just taking so many storms at this point. And his army just keeps getting weaker and weaker. The Colossus have no buffer anymore though, so Astrea starting to get pushed back. Look at this supply. Dream has the Dream engagement and finishes game number 2. Off to a good start in this series. He's got 3 more to win it. One second. Okay, so got a new caster coming in, and yeah, we're gonna have to see what Astrea chooses for the next map. And while he's choosing that, why don't you guys choose an excellent place to work out with 24-hour fitness, building up relationships with the community through amazing opportunities. They help you build a plan and stick with it so that you can become the best part of you. They have over 400 locations, and they want you to check them out with a 7-day free trial. So if you check out matcherino.com, in the links there, you'll add a little bit of money for checking them out. And also, hey, I think you guys get a 7-day free trial. So if that ain't worth it, then I don't know what is. Third game is going to be on Thunderbird. We just got that loading in right now. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This guy in the top, he's got some moves to make if he wants to get back into this. So spawning in the top, it's Astrea. And his opponent showing 2 dominating games to start things off. It's Dream. Now, once again, we get a semblance of a macro map here. The big difference between this one and Acropolis is it's a much bigger path to go through in order to get to your opponent's side of the base early on. And you also have 3 relatively easy to take bases so that you can get that economy up nice and strong there. I think the big reason why Astrea is picking this map is he may feel more comfortable in the later stages of the games. But we have seen that Dream has an amazing late game during everything here. So yeah, I mean the big things about PvT are you do have some very, very powerful pushes here from the Terran player. The Terran player also is not really forced to, but he does have a lot of potential for getting into your base and getting a lot of pro damage, thus slowing you down very heavily. But Overall, if the Protoss can power up to those 3 base economy and get really the perfect combination of units, um, he really does have a little bit of an easier time in some larger engagements. Although Dream, he's kind of shown us that he's not too afraid to multitask. He's not afraid to send units all over the place, kind of pick apart the ability of Astrea to respond. And even now, Astrea just wants to deny as much information as possible. We do have little force field boy. I forgot his name there for a minute, but a sentry coming out, as well as a very fast warp gate with a Templar archive. It's been so long since I remembered Protoss buildings. The Twilight Council coming out. Just love how this pro played hide and seek for so long before getting taken down. So the big question here now is, what route is he going to go behind all of this? It's looking to be a big blink timing. So he's going to be looking to abuse a couple factors on this map. You do have a lot of position. You do have this one position where you can blink in pretty easily. You can also retreat in 2 locations, right here and over this mineral line. We'll have to see if when he does decide to throw down the robo facility and get that war prism as well, because no attack is going to be very powerful without the reinforcement power. Sees just about everything here. A couple more racks before Starport, which really is such an aggressive but also super good for the defense in TVP. Like, he's just playing it super safe in that regard, making sure that no early game attacks are going to get him. On top of this, we got double forge and a robo facility, so this is just super aggressive tech from Astrea here. He really wants to power up quickly. We'll have to see if he's going to be given the time to, as he's got that 3rd base coming up. Chrono boosting out probes still, and not going to get the warp prism just yet. He's going to get an observer to keep tabs on his opponent's army. Also has his 3rd base up and ready to go. Look at that. Even going to expand to a 4th base very quickly. Although I'm worried that that might come back to bite him, as it was very aggressive for Dream to get those 3 barracks, which does mean he has a lot of units out. Which does mean that if he realizes this, he's going to have a bit of a window to move up. Astrea does need to get a hold of this. So overall, this Phoenix is going to try and keep a good eye on everything, as well as just see what's up. And he did see this army starting to move out here, so it looks like he's going to try and defend the low ground as he gets an explosion of gateways. Charge about to complete here in very soon. The first Colossus not out just yet, so overall, Astrea just needs to buy time during all of this. Look at that, even going to get a Widow Mine drop in the main while all of this is going on. Some good force field's going to pick off what he can, but Dream able to back up and disengage relatively nicely there. Still got that Widow Mine drop going towards the 3rd base. I don't think that one was scattered out, as he doesn't really have anything back here. Just gonna keep warping units. And Astrea not actually reacting just yet. Gonna lose a lot of probes with that. Oh, that was just not good. Although he is still ahead in workers, which is pretty funny. If you take a look at that income advantage, it only just now swung into Dream's favor, and even now it's starting to go back in Astrea's favor. So maybe a few too many probes here from Astrea, but overall, it does mean he does have that really strong economy. Look at that, he's getting ready for another drop that may be coming out. He's ready for this one, though. As once again, we see Dream going to be trying to attack the third base. Unfortunately, though, his attempts to get Astrea to multitask haven't really gone the way you'd probably expect. See once again another Widow Mine drop, so he's just going to keep dropping these Widow Mines until he gets the Reddit moments. As Astrea is going to scat at that he's still on 3 bases. That is going to force him back, keeping him on that 3-base economy. The Vikings, though, are going to go to town on the only 2 Colossus that are out here. 14 more workers going down to the Widow Mines. Even going to just drop one right here, see what he can get. Yeah, Dream is still getting some amazing damage done here, although he is still equal in workers. Actually doesn't have Storm yet either, so these are just going to be Archon Templars. But Dream already does have plenty of Ghosts out on the field to EMP this army. This is a pretty scary death ball here. It's a lot less scary with the EMPs. The charge is complete. He's going to jump right on top of this. The Vikings getting lots of damage done onto those Colossus. But ultimately, Astrea will have to back on out of there. The Viking count is now decimated, though. It is gone. It is not coming back here anytime soon. The dying wish is to get a Colossus. +2 completed for Dream on attack, +2/+2 for Astrea on both defense and attack. So he does have that upgrade advantage, which is going to help him significantly in engagements. He even has some disruptors, so if Dream is not paying attention at the very worst second, it's going to mean trouble for him. Look at that. Even just waiting for a hit like that. Not the best one. EMP is also going to just do absolutely massive damage to this army. He does have the upgrade now, so they will take more shield damage and a bigger radius. Although once again, this is really just super. I don't even want to say committal here out of Astrea, because he's not really going up that ramp. He knows that he won't really be able to get up there. So, and he's instead just making sure that Dream is stuck where he is. Love this move as well. He's going to start taking a couple of Zealots, moving around, while also getting his 5th base at home. He is completely maxed out here. A couple more Disruptors to finish things off. That War Prism. Not going to have the best luck if he tries anything anymore. We'll have to wait for those shields to regen. Not even going to get the time. but he will get the 4th CC, so I'd say that was worth it. Disruptor is going to make it so difficult for Dream to really engage this, although Astrea not using them on their retreat. Very big hit right there. Although he did lose the last of his disruptors there. Actually, the reinforcement is going to be coming in. Now Dream starting to take those huge hits, really getting punished for engaging this. He still does not have Storm, by the way. Got a big Doom drop up here. And once again, the EMP is just going to start trying to blanket this army. He's trying to bait them out as Astrea, but he's got to be careful because he can get sandwiched very easily here. Although his pylon will reveal everything, which does kind of tell him he needs to go home. As this is getting taken out, Dream is going to start moving towards that 4th base once again, maybe even head towards the 5th. Try and get something done here. Shields. He's just run out of upgrades, so now he's going to be going for shields as he gets that carrier count up. Carriers, I don't want to say they're the best versus all of this, but they do force you to kind of have to manage your Viking count. You really got to get that focus fire, and those are actually going to get taken down, so the Army of Dreams starting to falter. 5th base, however, or 6th base rather, is going to be under fire once again. And the Dream is going to have to pick up and get out of there. Unfortunately, though, he's going to have to go through the gauntlet, aka the let 4 stalkers shoot at you. Now I'm really loving Astrea's position. He's just been picking off the units he needs to survive and the units he needs to thrive. And honestly, he just has a very scary force here. Not much here. The EMP is doing pretty much doing everything he needs to. The Disruptors, though, going to make this so difficult to engage. We're going to just try and pick off the medevacs, get rid of the healing potential of this army as the Disruptors get a ghost. I'm liking that trade right there. Even get the sandwich right here with the big, juicy Terran filling. Small skirmish up here. It's even just going to break down the rocks for easier access to this location. And overall, I think Dream's doing okay to hold on, but unfortunately he just keeps losing way too many units to these Disruptors. This is a very scrappy one, but it's looking like Astrea is going to come out on top once again. Even if he's just going to send these carriers in, there's not too much that can fight them. Although you do have to be careful here because there are still Marines with this, and Marines will counter that so heavily. He does not get that second one, though. He doesn't feel confident enough to fight within that range of that guy, Big Daddy Planetary, but overall he's just whittling down the Terran army. It's actually going to be it. Tap out GG. Astrea be putting himself on the board. So now we got to find out what the next map is going to be. As it is now Dream's pick. So this camera is a bit too high. Probably should have checked that. We just go. Bloodbath. which is, I gotta say, the best name in the map pool today. Let's get these guys. It's not going to be a show match between me and Mage. Got one go-go, but this is going to be a good one. Oh, GP, G-JF. Maybe Astrea's feeling a little bit tired here. Although it is noon there in Korea, so. Shouldn't be feeling too tired. This means you gotta go to more planetary fitness if you're feeling not planet. Sorry guys, I'm mixing up all the different gyms we have here, but 24-hour fitness. Which if you don't wanna just wanna get some fitness in this next game, it's gonna be this guy. Alpha X is Astrea. His opponent up here in the top, he's looking for his namesake engagements. Stream. So one thing you gotta note is Dream has really been the player to take these kind of risks overall. Unfortunately this time, his risk is gonna get scouted very quickly here. And that is actually gonna set him pretty decently behind in terms of going out on the map. So that is one chance where the risk was not worth it. So instead he's just gonna kind of get a little scout around, see what's up. It does look like it's just going to be a Nexus into Cybernetics Core for Astrea, just waiting for the minerals to throw that down. Even being aggressive here, he really does not want Dream to block anything. He wants his build order to go down exactly when he wants it. Another couple of standard openings out of both sides. Not really too much else to say, you know. It's gonna be it's gonna be at least a minute before we see really any huge action starting up. Reaper, although it was delayed, will get out roughly in the same time as this Adept, which is pretty funny to see. And yeah, once again, Astrea just going with his bread and butter, starting out with that Stargate play. Although I do think this is one of those maps where, honestly, it is a bit better for Stargate. Got a lot of empty space behind the main bases, where you can just really easily fit some Oracles, some Phoenix, get some damage done that way. And at the same time, you can also fly a couple of medevacs in completely unopposed, right around here. Just get a couple of Widow Mines. Reaper gonna come up. Not actually gonna go in there. I don't know if that's a full wall off, to be honest. It might be, actually. But Astrea's just kind of poke around, make sure Dream's paying attention to his own base. Look at that, he's just going to do it again. Yeah, there we go. The Reaper realizes that that is not a full wall off. Small mistake there, going to cost him a probe or two. Even going to force the Oracle back. I don't really like that move. Astrea also not paying attention here. He's going to lose the Adept for free. Great micro out of Dream. 2 workers going down. That's the kind of thing that you need to do to get into your opponent's head as Dream. Very nice little moves here, getting himself bit of edge, just very slight. They didn't win on mine.
SCV ready.
Crouching Oracle. I'm just gonna go straight for the Revelate. Does not want to risk flying into some mines here. But overall, it's gonna be what looks to be another kind of standard game here, honestly. I like how in the first game we saw some crazy strategy out of Dream, and then he's kind of just said, you know what? I've already done the crazy strategy. Now I'm just going to beat you by mechanics alone. And so far it's worked for him in 2 games, and not in the 3rd one, though. Astrea's starting to get his footing in that one. And even just going to hide a couple pylons here for the scouting potential. As the Twilight Council finishes up. Doesn't have the money for it. He does start Blink as soon as he's able. Even just getting good map presence all over everything. This is a lot of units. Phoenix gonna scout out this drop coming up, as Dream gonna be moving out once again. Right now it is just pure gateway units here for Astrea, so he's gonna be looking to take advantage of that. Blink almost done, but he's not gonna have charge, which is quite the good one for this kind of thing. He gets a Revelate off on one of the Widow Mines, but the rest are in the darkness. There we go. Now he can actually start just to pick those off with the assistance of the force fields. Those Guardian Shields actually doing a great job as well. Getting some great pickoffs here, just small amounts of mines at a time. Gonna even send the depths in to cancel the 3rd base for right now. So Astrea, he's getting some hits, he's losing some units, but he's also doing pretty good at putting the blows back onto his opponent. Sorry, I had to turn down my phone because unfortunately decides do not disturb. It does not mean you can't get pinged. Looks like the Templar Archive is going to be coming out at the Robo facility as well. So Astrea is still pretty comfortable in just getting ready, powering up, and he's got good tabs on this army as well with that Oracle. So that's why keeping those alive is one of the most important things. He's even going to try and get a couple of pickoffs here, but loses a Stalker for pretty much nothing. Did eventually get that 3rd base up, but it was delayed for right now. And I just love this, you know? Dream is getting these small little picks, but Astrea at the same time is just forcing him back and not letting him really get any good position on the map. Widow Mines helping out the Zealots, the Zealot count quite nicely. Even then, look at that. Those mines are going to be a savior of this fight, as it is just pure Stalker Guardian Shield right now. That is not going to be good versus this amount of Marauders. Needs the Zealots to tank. That is the last of the energy. Actually going to hurt him there because it forces a choke point. Didn't even get the CV with that attack, but he is being aggressive now. He feels like it's his turn, even though he doesn't even even though he didn't have that count. Look at this. This is nice. Just getting that SCV kills. Couple SCV kills there. Even just keep sending them, forcing units to stay at home. The ghosts are out. They do have the upgrade as well. But Dream is just taking these small little pieces of damage, and it's really starting to wear on him because he does need to keep units at home to defend this. Now we go. This is where Astrea is really looking to shine. Don't know where that just went off, but it probably only caught a couple of units there. Observer keeping tabs as well. Big storms going down. Loses one of the High Templar, but not before a huge blanket of storms. It's the army. Astrea forced back into a corner. There's a lot of EMP energy with all of this, so those Archons are very exposed as well. He does get a couple of storms off, but overall, the army of Dream is still very powerful here. The Zealot count starting to falter very heavily here. Widowmine's covering the retreat. Astrea does have some units in the back to hit the third base once again, but behind all this, he's going to lose a lot, and maybe even his whole fourth base is going to go down behind all of this as these Zealots are going to start moving in. That he actually cleans out the mineral line for right now. But although Dream still has a huge army moving up the ramp here, so it's trying to go in one by one, be the heroes, but it's just not working for him. Disruptors getting taken out before they can even really do anything, and I think Dream has done it at this point. The EMP is just blanketing everything, and he is going to go up 3-1 with 2 games to go. Dream just scary good during all of this. It's going to be once again Astrea's pick for this. He's got 4 more, 5. Yeah, excuse me. He's got at least 3 more maps to pick from the prize map pool. And you know what? You guys have some options too. So why don't you check out the Matcherino page? You can check out our sponsor, GameStop. GameStop has always sought to bring power to the players, and now they're bringing it to the esports sphere. GameStop got some brand new initiatives that you guys can check out. They, with their new esports coaching from some of the best coaches in every game. And overall, you guys should just check them out because it also adds money to the prize pool. 30 cents. You know, 30 cents, it adds up when everybody here starts to do it. And let's get these guys where they need to be. We're going to hop into Ephemeron for our next map. I like this map. It's a pretty decent map to play around with. It does remind you a little bit of Bridgehead from the very, very end of Heart of the Swarm. And it still has its own uniqueness to it. That makes it much different in that regard. I have to see who can take advantage of that as spawning in the top position. It's our blue Protoss, Astrea. And his opponent down here in the bottom. He is on a steamroll right now. It is Dream. He's also not hiding anything out on the map this time. He learned his lesson from the last one. He does not want to get caught out again. Yeah, you know, Astrea, I think the big thing to note is that all of our games have kind of gone into the semi-late game scenarios where we have a lot of later game units. Although it does look like it has been pretty good for Dream when it gets to that stage. Although we did see if Astrea gets a hold of those disruptors, Dream has some trouble dealing with them, as he has taken some huge hits. So overall, I think that's going to be Astrea's ace in the hole here, although he will probably go for Stargate. Once again, that is his bread and butter. And Dream, he pretty much has the whole map to play with here. As you can kind of see here, we have this location, which is the only big attack path until you can break down the rocks or go all the way around, which is a very long distance. So until that's taken out, you're kind of forced into these very small choke points, which kind of depends on who's attacking and what units they have. But yeah, overall, it is not going to be pretty for whoever decides to do that. Not even going to try and wall that off. It is a fool errand to do so, as the Reaper going to be coming in here. Just going to get a little bit of scouting information. Sees that it's a Stalker instead of the Adepts that it has been. They're going to get right on out of there, as we do see the Sentry coming out as well. Now this is the kind of thing I've been loving out of Dream. He's always gone for this 3 racks before starport kind of build. He gets the factory for safety, getting that Cyclone, even a couple of Widow Mines to kind of defend against Oracles or early game aggression. But then he gets 3 racks, which allows him to be out on the map relatively quickly, very fast, and with a lot of power coming down. See the Tech Lab as well going to be thrown down, so he can start Stim very quickly. Yeah, overall, he's just setting himself up for a good mid-game during all of this. Astrea, he's going for Blink. He's got the Warp Gate coming down as well. So, looking to be maybe a bit safe, like he has been in previous games. But I don't know. Like, when he plays safe and allows Dream to get up to that 3 CC, that's when he becomes an absolute monster of a Terran player. Astrea does scout out, however, that this is indeed the 3 racks. Not able to kill that off just yet. Little bit of lag coming down here. Hopefully the players aren't feeling that. Yeah, this Reaper's still just hanging around here. It's always funny to kind of see a Reaper that has lasted this long in the game, because they're usually just so easy to take out. These stalkers going to be coming up. They're going to be in for a very rude surprise. Before they even get a chance to blink, I feel like one will be dying. He's actually just going to keep reinforcing this as well. Dream kind of losing patience there. Just going to try and pick one off. Nice little blink away. Sees that there's no third base. None on the way either right now. So overall, like, Dream is very committed to aggression. I would like to see if he throws down the 4th or 5th racks, which would signify an all-in. But we will have to wait for all of that. He's going to split off a couple of units now. Look for those pylons. Maybe even try and get the drop on these guys. Good micro. He's going to get a few pickoffs here with the stalkers, but does need to be careful because Marauders just do an insane amount of damage. Although that ramp is going to be very difficult to go up here. Even just going to start picking off the rocks, give himself a little bit more room. Not even going to get the Cyclone here. There's not a huge amount for Astrea. The army supply very heavily in Dream's favor, but he is going to get a couple nice force fields. Although Dream doesn't really care. He's just going to keep pushing this location. Don't know what that stalker was doing. Keep in mind he also does have this location right here. So he can warp in some sort of a Storm Sorter unit to kind of help push him back and force him to go home. But right now it's just a steady stream of Dream. Almost losing that medevac here. One more focus fire. Little force as well of Marines gonna be very nice, although that does get picked off. Astrea's multitasking is just put to the test right now. Zealot's taking a lot of damage with all of this. This is still a lot of bio, even though it's on the retreat. It's going to get a few more pickoffs. And he will back off right now, though, while he waits for the reinforcements, and then he's just going to go right back in again. Wanted to do a drop, but just decided, you know what, I have too much here. I can just keep pushing, and I can just keep pressuring this location. Sending that mule in. Hit early for the Manure Mule here, but he's looking like he's trying to finish the game right here, right now. I would like to see him kind of rotate between the two locations. But, I mean, that's his prerogative right now. He feels more comfortable just pushing up this ramp. Although the longer he waits and the longer he doesn't pick stuff off, the longer that Astrea has to kind of build up that critical mass to break out. Sorry guys, one sec. Try to get rid of as much Wood of Mine damage as possible, and Astrea felt like he had critical mass, although this is still a lot of bio, and it's just going to go right around the force fields. Nice micro with the Warp Prism, going to save those Immortals for as long as possible, and it does look like Astrea has held. Sorry guys, there is a lot of dust in my apartment. Wood of Mine taking out the Warp Prism as well just makes this... Oh, this is so two-sided here. Like, neither side able to get that advantage up. Just saying, Astrea. A couple Zealots right there. Nothing at home to defend. Now that Colossus are coming out, this composition from Dream starting to lose its luster. as we do have ghosts in the mix, but ghosts, while they're pretty decent, they're not as good versus the Colossus that you would hope. Small little run by, and a couple of stalkers as well going to be moving in behind all of this. Forces Dream to come back home. If we took a look at that income advantage, Astrea is just really picking up that steam, and if we look at the army, actually it's still in Dream's favor. Had to do a little bit of a drop, but didn't get any of the probes. Very good pulls here from Astrea. Now it's Astrea's turn, it looks like, to move out and be aggressive. He's got that second starport on the way, but the Viking count will not be very high for this next engagement. Although it does look like Astrea being very hesitant to kind of move across the map. I do like this now. He's halted Colossus production now that he knows his opponent is going to be going for Vikings. As instead adding on the Disruptors. There's not much here that's really a counter to that. I gotta say, Astrea's economy is just going absolutely hog wild, even just getting the 5th base, pulling the entire army back to defend against 2 zealots. This drop already scouted out, already prepared for. Just overall, Astrea is looking very solid in this game, and Dream, he's still in this like heavily. He's still got a great army. It's just all kind of a matter of who counters what the best. Right now, it does look like Astrea has a very sizable death ball. Drop does land, however, and this is gonna be deadly. One disruptor shot, helping out things a bit, to force in some more defensive weapons and force Astrea to kind of pull back a little bit. Yeah, I was about to say that medevac was a death sentence. See another big push. Dream just really trying to make sure that he doesn't get bottled up. Like on Thunderbird, he just wants to stay out of the map and keep Astrea from really taking advantage of these kind of positions. Actually gets the snipe off before the ghost or the zealot recalls. Astrea is on top of this, but it doesn't really have enough here to defend it just yet. He did use up that recall, remember, so a lot is under fire here. The Robo Bay, especially, Dream's actually going to move in on this 5th base as well during all of this, although he does sack the Vikings straight into a lot of Archons. And this push does get cleaned up. This guy, not yet. Still being a really big nuisance. There's still some Colossus out as well. This was just so hard to deal with for Astrea. So again, we see this location very difficult to push through. Astrea almost did it, but decides against it. Now you sit on Disruptor, going to pick off what he can. And now Dream's whole strategy, it seems like, revolves around these double prong drops. This one will get scouted out though, so he's not going to be too aggressive with them. Yeah, I mean, overall, Dream just unfortunately keeps taking the brunt end of these fights, having a lot of trouble at kind of getting pickoffs he needs, even losing a couple of ghosts here. Does get the EMPs off, however, so he will pick off some Archons for his trouble. But still, that army count, look at the supply. It's steadily dropping here for Dream, almost. That we even have an Archon run by. Gotta say, though, I love how Dream is using these choke points. And I love how Astrea, at the same time, is using those disruptors to kind of force him off those checkpoints. Just picking off the reinforcements. Which again just makes these pushes so much more weaker. Looks like the Zealot's gonna scout that out. The Archon just now getting taken out on this side. There's just action happening everywhere. This big Zealot run by gonna get a little bit for its trouble. Gets the base and is just going to get on out of there. That took a little bit longer than he might have liked. And, you know, the big thing is he is getting a lot of High Templar at this point, but he's only getting them for Archons. He does not have Storm right now, which I feel is hurting him because it just adds another element that the Terran player has to watch out for. This is gonna have to lift his main to make this work. Which again, the bridge is the site of battle. The Zealot run by gonna pick off a couple of ghosts for the trouble. I'm liking this, if he can get it. But yeah, both sides still have the economy, which is the big thing here. It's crazy to think about, but both sides can just replenish these armies very, very quickly. The other side, though, wants to move on those rocks, which I feel like would open up such a nice pathway. That one soul disruptor scares away the entire army. Trying to force out those shots by sending a couple of units forward as he's attacking the 7th base. Not really anything going on there, so they can afford to lose that. But this is the fight. Big EMPs going off, blanketing this army, making it very difficult for Astrea to counter that as it's going to move into this one. Already starting to be mined out, but it's really nice if you get that. Dream still getting pushed back here. Great hit off the disruptor. He's going to get probably another base. There's just not enough here to defend it, but at the same time, you already have another base you can send all those workers to. Problem with Astrea is he's not making enough at home to defend against it. So it's really down to the multitasking. Dream on 2 fronts at once. He can open up a 3rd if he wanted to. The Archons keep going down, so the army of Astrea just keeps getting weaker and weaker. All of this drop still just being the biggest of nuisances. Start picking that off now, but the army is already here. He sees everything. Scans ahead to make sure that he doesn't walk into a death ball. Like, it's just so hard to say because honestly, Dream keeps getting pushed back with these disruptors. He's having just a hard time getting out anywhere onto the map. Like, he makes some great pushes, he pulls Astrea's army back, but then he starts getting pushed back again. Even now, he's going to lose one of his own mining bases. And income-wise, that's just going to hurt so badly. two workers as well. This seems to be one of the final engagements here. Disruptor's just kind of putting the nail in the coffin. Viking's going to drop on the other side of the map, do what they can. You already have this base taken out. That's essentially for free. The army just keeps getting whittled down. Love it. Yeah, only 2 mining bases here for Dream. And he's going to get pushed back once again. I think this is the GG push. And there we go, Astrea. Making this a series and a half now. It's currently 3-2-2. We have 2 more maps, and then we go right back around. Super fun series so far, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. We'll have to see if the players need a break at any time. Because these have been some very draining games. Like, there's just action all over the place. These guys have been absolutely doing everything in their power to win these games. Look at that. Dream just wants to power on through. So guess what, guys? We're going to keep powering up as we move on. To Triton it. Okay, and Astrea is going to call it a break. So we're going to send you guys off to a quick word from one of our sponsors while we get him on back. So stick around, guys. We have more epic StarCraft coming on up. See you guys in just a sec.
Places here to rest, filling the holes on my soul. I see, I like, I go, I get, no one can hold me back. I see, I like, I go, I get, go, I get, go, I get, go, I get now. Go, I get, go, I get, go, I get now.
All right, not a long video, but did do the job. You know, we got Astrea almost on his way back. As we want to continue this series on Triton. Now this is a fun map as you have a large mixture of high and low ground bases, and overall that watchtower that's in the center, very important overall because it does give you a big range of vision on the most important attack routes. And I think one of Astrea's big things here is he has had really good control of just kind of vision on the map, making sure that he knows when Dream is moving out. And it's really helped him out in the games that he's won, and even in the games he's lost. You can kind of tell that Dream was struggling to kind of get those drops around in the later stages of the game, as Astrea did have units in position. Although he did get him down, he just had overwhelming numbers, so it's pretty much a brawny strategy from him. But yeah, just hanging out for another second here. By the way, guys, if you want a Chinese cast, we also have one going on at Alpha XCN, I believe. Got an excellent caster there as well. And look at that, I don't even have to tell these guys. The second he's back, he goes, go, 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 go. Adjust this chair a little bit. But here we go, guys, into game number 6, Dream Astrea. Coming right at you as soon as this loading screen goes down. It is the most boring part of StarCraft is waiting to get into game. And without further ado, clawing his way back into it to make it 3-2. In the bottom position, it's Astrea. His opponent up here in the top position, it's Dream. I bet you his dream right now is to finish this up in the next 2 games, go home, and have some really good food. It's roughly dinner time, or roughly lunchtime where he's at in Korea. So he's probably thinking about all the yummy food he can buy with his Matcherino winnings if he can close out this series. Astrea, also around lunchtime, he's probably thinking about delicious food as well, but you gotta wonder what foods these guys are eating, which really gives them the energy to complete series like this. These are really draining, and I bet after them you just have to eat like a horse in order to cover your energy. And Astrea, he's moving his horse probes and just trying to make sure that he does not get caught out by another Dream proxy. Dream, to his credit though, is just in his base, just doing normal Terran things. And then look at this, he's just so paranoid that Dream is gonna pull out some sort of big aggressive cheese in game number 6 to keep things going, but sorry about that. But no dice, Astrea. Nothing coming your way. Going back to that Stargate play. And try and get across the map in order to keep things going on. No Reaper actually just gets in really nice and easily here. Gonna get maybe one pick off. Astrea doesn't have perfect micro. He is gonna get the Adept on top of that guy. It's not a complete wall, but it's a little game of cat and mouse here. See, we'll get on top of that guy, but only get one shot off. Still plenty of ledges for this guy to pop up on, even if you block his main route. Once again, though, we are going to see that Cyclone, like kind of Cyclone opening. It's very safe, and behind it we do have that third CC, so this game he's going to be very aggressive in his expansions. Get that macro nice and strong early on, and even behind this he's going to be throwing down a couple extra racks. I think he's going to throw down another one maybe? Yeah, there we go. Kind of rule of thumb is usually you throw down racks in intervals of 2. But this will allow him in the mid game to just start things off really quick. Phoenix. Actually, it is going to be Phoenix play here. See, that makes the Cyclone not as good once those numbers start to rise. You really need to keep those Marines with them to keep them safe. Otherwise, they can just get picked off very easily by 3 or 4 Phoenix. Reaper just chilling. Phoenix just creeping. And this game is just chugging along nicely, as we do see. He is not over investing into these Phoenix. He's kind of just using them as a tool to keep that presence and to get those nice pickoffs in the middle while he techs on up to possibly disrupt this. I think he will go for the couple of safety Colossus, and then from there just start pumping out disruptors once again, because those have really been his bread and butter. I keep saying it, but they're his bread and butter in this series. Look at that income graph as well. That Dream, that third CC is really just helping him out here so much, as it gives him a big edge over his opponent right now. Still no 4th and 5th racks, however, so his production is still a bit limited, I would say. So yeah, there we go. We got the Colossus coming out, extended thermal lance, Twilight Council behind it. All is right in the world with Astrea, and he kinda knows it. Kind of wondering when we are going to be seeing Dream moving out. There we go. This looks like it's going to be his first kind of push out on the map. Does get scattered out by Astrea, who is going to pull these Phoenix in and try and get something done at that third base. There we go. Does exactly what he needs to. Forces Dream to come on back home. Doesn't even lose a Phoenix for this. That is very nice for Astrea. And just going to get recalled out. That's exactly how you want to play with these Phoenix. Scan going down as well. Supply block for Astrea. Dream smells a little bit of blood in the water. His army count is very high, and he wants to show that is indeed the case. Once again, he gets scouted by Astrea. Phoenix going to come in once again. I don't think Dream should really put too much on this. He needs to get going. He needs to get something done. And he's going to divvy up his forces. Try and make some magic happen. One Colossus is going to be defense with a couple of gateway units. That's going to be enough to force Dream out. And Astrea actually going to get just supply block once again by the pylon. Too many free shots there. Way too many free shots. Losing one of the Phoenix, the other one's getting very low and actually sends up right back into the fire. Gonna give a lot of time for these Widow Mines to be dropped. Only 4 Marines, gonna get picked off by the Zealots. Might get a probe, probably not. And only 1 Widow Mine's gonna get down, gets 3 workers for his trouble, which is a nice little pick off, but not worth losing the mines for. Cheeky shots off, only damages the shields, and Dream is really just doing a good job of pressuring here. Though it's about to be felt in kind by Astrea. Once again, when we don't see Storm come out, so it just doesn't feel like it's a priority. Every game he's gone for Storm, he's lost, and every game he's kind of neglected it, he has won in a very convincing fashion. Using the medevac, not that good. One thing to note as well is that throughout this whole series, Dream has not really gone for Liberators. Uh, kind of tells you about his playstyle. He's very forward, very open, very active, and Liberators would honestly just get in the way of that because you'd be way too held back by the fact that you need to set them up in order to get a good position. They would be a nice addition sometimes. We'll have to see if the last couple of games he starts to add those in, but doesn't. I don't think he will. Big Zella Rumbai going to be coming in, goes straight for the bunker, gets on top of it, forces the army back. Dream will be looking to pull his own little Rumbai. Gets all of the Zealots before morphing in almost. And that third base is completely under threat. 9 workers going down for Dream. Only getting 3 of his own. That did force a lot of defensive warp-ins, which would have been well spent somewhere else. Oh, Dream. Just barely paying attention. Astrea chickened out at the last second there. So he doesn't get a big hit. But will it even matter? Huge EMPs going down over this entire army. The Disruptor's on front. Gonna get some nice hits. All of the Ghosts going down almost. And this is absolute massacre for Astrea. Although he is starting to get pushed back quite heavily here. There's still a lot of Marauders with this. And even then, we still got a big drop down here. Not being microed, he could have gotten a lot more probes if he was paying attention. His main army is gone. So it's really reset once again. Although Dream does have a bigger army supply. Dream, so good. Saves that Marauder. And now just finally gets taken out. Doing a lot with the little. That's how he keeps winning these games. It's an okay position in between the third and natural. Big EMP is once again on this completely gateway army. Disruptors not out just yet. Even when they are getting out, they're just getting picked off before they can even try. Still though, still getting those huge hits. Which really is just limiting what he can do with these pushes. Even just kind of sacking his army right there to try and get one. Scrappy games. Not much else to say. Dream, he has the units to kind of start pushing through, but then he takes some sort of big disruptor hit or loses some to an Archon splash and gets pushed back, but it does not look like that is going to be the case this time. Good splits going to prevent that. That's actually going to push Dream up to match point. And you know what, guys? You can push yourself to match point with our sponsor, GameStop. They've always supported players, and they've always done whatever they can for the esports community, but now they're bringing it even further. Check out their initiatives on Match Arena from the top esports coaches in the world, and some tips from the best players you can ever find in the games. And you tell me you're not going to be a better player after reading into that. So check them out. GameStop. Power to the players. You know what gamer has the power right now? Dream. He's on match point. It's gonna be of sleepers. Let's get these boys in position. And yeah, are you guys ready? 'Cause I sure am. Dream, he has one map to finish things off. Astrea, he has one map, or two maps, three maps um, to pull things back. And I think he can do it. I really think he can. But here we go in game number 7, ladies and gentlemen. He is one game away from elimination. Give him your cheers and give him your support. It's Astrea. On the other side, he's looking to close things out and looking to win it in convincing fashion. It's Dream. Doesn't look like he's going to be too cheeky in this game. He's not going to be proxying, trying to finish it out with a great big early cheese. And I mean, that kind of suits him. He's been winning in these longer games, but the problem is, so has Astrea. It all comes down to who kind of pulled themselves up by the shoestrings here and just finish it out. I honestly would like to see more games, but I would also like to see how Dream can win this. That's the thing about StarCraft. Like, honestly, I don't care who wins it. I just want good games, and these guys have done nothing but give them to us. Yeah, not much else to say, guys. We got, once again, got that factor coming up. Playing it safe with the bunker this time. He kind of worries about what the Protoss can do. He also sees that it is a sentry as the first unit out. And that's kind of got to give you a little bit of worry here, especially since it's a very early warp gate as well. There's still a lot that Astrea can do with this. He can be very powerful early on. These guys have the energy of gods. Guardian Shield just mitigates so much damage from the early game Terran player. That Reaper just trying to force these sentries out so he can play with them. Getting that forge, so he's going to get that plus attack with all of this. And it does look like we might be seeing Widowmine drops. Just because we do have a lot of Widowmines on the production right now, and the medevac also coming in. Reaper just still kind of being annoying. Really doesn't. Like, he really doesn't want to be caught out in the dark, especially when you're so close. Here we go. Here's the Warp Prism on the way. Not going to get scouted out just yet. Still no big gateway explosion either, by the way, guys. So any kind of attack that does come in, gonna be a bit weird to handle. Stalker's just gonna come in and take out that Reaper, and the Widowmine's gonna be moving across the map, already scattered out by Astrea. So really, the question is, who has the better kind of progression right now? gets 4 and gets out of there with at least 2 of the Widow Mines. In fact, not going to be under fire. And here we go. The War Prism Micro is about to begin, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't mind. Still going to be a threat. But, yeah, overall, we'll have to see. Can Astrea pull something off right here? Moving. Not to say moving in, but, you know. He's not. There we go. Now he's going to be moving on in. Now he is able to two-shot here because he has that +1 attack, so these guys are just that much more potent. Raven just going to be following along here, making sure that like if he tries to warp anything in, he is just going to get caught out. 6 more probes going down, but the Widow Mine drop did get taken out. I'm sorry, guys. I just missed that. Ugh. Had too much adept to the adepts. But a scan going to be going down, trying to hide that disruptor for as long as possible. Is that the Raven? No, it was the medevac. Still a really nice pick off here. And looks like Dream wants to take this upper expansion third. And Astrea just wants to try and kill him. Stim not complete just yet. Once that's done, it becomes a little bit dicier. But yeah, until that's out, there's a lot of capability in this army. Look at that, the War Prism. It has speed, but unfortunately it's just taken so much damage during all of this. Oh, by opening up that gateway, the adepts are able to get in. Let's get a few more workers. Scan going down once again. He sees that there is no third base, so now he knows that there's trouble afoot. This is still a lot for Astrea, and the Disruptors get a nice hit off some of the few Marauders that there are. And once again, a scan. He just keeps confirming that this is indeed a 2-base all-in. Oh, forcing the shots off on the Archons that are fake. I don't know, this is still a lot, but Astrea is starting to be pushed back. The War Prism Micro pretty good, but I don't know if it's good enough. As he does get pushed back once again. It's currently 50-50 army supply. And Astrea actually just going to go for a third base behind this. I'm going to be coming back in with a Colossus, doing what he can. It's actually pretty nice too. Waste the recall on that. So Astrea is still out on the map, still trying to pressure, but the siege tanks going to help out with that. Finally getting taken out. The Marauders doing work on the Stalkers, and once those Stalkers go down, you can't stick around with the Colossus. Otherwise, they're just going to get taken out way too quickly. Behind this, we do got the Templar Archives coming up at home. Astrea, he still has an okay-ish army, only 34 army supply if we take a look at that. But Dream is just powering up so heavily right now, and he has so much that he's able to do. Even has enough to kind of just send units out on the map willy-nilly. go. Dream is now doing what he does best. He's going to try and pull the attention of Astrea across so many different locations. Storm is on the way. Small amount of points is going to be picked off. Medevac unaware. It's in the totally wrong location for this. So a little bit of a blunder by Dream. We got the Ghost Swarm coming out. Storm just about to complete. And yeah, here we go. Once again, Astrea is just kind of going to do what he's been doing in these series. Trying to move out and kind of pressure his opponent to stay on those bases. Disruptor's moving and trying to get those big, juicy connections. But yeah, overall, no dice. Jisu as well. For the first time in this series, Liberator is going to be added on to this army composition. As that 4th base is going to be taken up by Dream. This is a lot of Storm energy overall. Ghost not here just yet. Still in the production tab. But yeah, I mean overall this is just a really scary position here for Astrea to try and break into. It's the first time he's seen Liberators in the series, and you can't really push into that with what you have. Close to maxing out as well, so he might be going to look for a push here pretty soon. He does not want to throw anything away. Being very cautious, even just sending out units all over the place to keep vision. Astrea sees a good chunk of the map. The Dream sees a good other chunk of the map. Yeah, here we go. This is the push that is looking to end it. Super powerful. These Liberators already have range, so they're just going to siege up super quickly into position. Dream, again, just being very cautious during all of this. He does not want to get stormed too much. See back at home, Zealots just all over the place. That Warp Prism doing what he does best, although a lot of the army is still out here on the map. Keeps going for the Ghost Temple, but it's not going to be enough. No healing with this army, actually, so these Storms just doing so much work. He needs to get those medevacs back out pronto. Yeah, this is the move Astrea needs to survive here. He's down a lot of army supply. And down just a lot of supply in general, actually. He really wants that Ghost Academy. Huge warping, gonna go for that +3. He will get it. That is gonna really hurt the units of Dream. That's denied. Shockwave is complete. And he will not get +3 as Astrea is gonna be moving up towards that 5th base. Oh, it does not even get the Warp Prism. It survives to see another day. Storm's going down, blanketing a little chunk of this army. Oh man, this is just absolute insane here. Take a look at this. Currently very EV on the army supply. This is a full scrap game, and you guys can't say that this is not an entertaining one, as we do see carriers on the way. Now the thing about that is you do have Vikings, and you do have ways to make lots of Vikings very quickly. I think you finally got the Warp Prism there. Yeah, he has the ability to move out. He's sending out small chunks, but honestly, at this point, he probably would be better off just sending out all of his units in one big clump, one big bio ball to take him out. 'Cause this is a huge investment, and it's actually going to get caught out by this army. Doesn't even get the High Templars with that. And there's still the carriers right here to defend this next one. Not too much anti-air with it. Pushing it on two different fronts, but yeah, look at that. He's just getting pushed back on both sides, really. So a bit of a misstep there from Dream. Gives Astrea a little bit of room to breathe. And Astrea doesn't want to give Dream any room to breathe after that one. And once again, although that might be a mistake because he's starting this fight very clustered up. The High Templar from the flank actually going to get some huge shots off. Armor supply, though, is still falling quite rapidly for Astrea. He's trying to take this engagement, but unfortunately there is no more buffer for these guys. Storms are all used up, and now you can just take out those carriers at will. So Astrea, way too aggressive right there, going to lose his entire army. That's pretty bad. He's only got a couple of carriers back home. Another ship corps. And a couple of zealots. So many scans banked up with all of this. It's going to be very difficult. Look at that. The EMP actually just going to reveal everything as well. Once again, a huge engagement here. Dream on both was attacking on two sides of this front. The Mothership Corps gonna be backed up. Gonna recall actually back into the natural or third base. Kind of a strange recall there, but it did the trick. Third base is finally gonna go down. Zealots gonna go for the sixth. I don't know. This is still it's still kind of close, honestly. Dream, though, is looking to close it out with this attack. He is not going to go home during any of this. He feels confident enough to just take out these mining bases, and once those go down, Astrea is going to be way hurting for income. Look at that, even sacking SCVs on purpose. With that, honestly, I don't know if Astrea can keep up anymore. This is intense. Dream trying to take out the last mining base, and this is Astrea's last lifeline in this game. He only has 85 minerals. I don't know if this is going to be enough to Ghost just absolutely shredding the interceptors. EMPs taking out everything, and with that, Astrea's hopes in this series have faltered. Half the army's supply, less than a third of the total supply, and with those carriers going down, this is it. GG. Dream is your Alpha Pro Series 116 champion. That was a series and a half, and Dream absolutely decimated it. Astrea fought very valiantly, and he did take some very good games. And honestly, that was just a really amazing series overall. And congratulations to Dream. He takes the Lions prize of the share. You still got time, however. If you want to increase that Lions prize, head over to the link at matcherino.com. You can find it in the chat, and use that code APS116. It doesn't cost you guys anything. All it does is add 50 cents to the prize pool. So, yeah, thank you guys once again for tuning in, and we hope to see you at the next big event. Signing off, I'm Passer. Find me down at the Twitter link below, and once again, GG to all players involved, and we will see you guys next time.
Nuclear missile ready.